Today we are looking at the Voyager Linux 24.10. So here is the boot menu of Voyager Linux. So let me quickly boot it in the live boot. I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is a VMware with a 60 GB of virtual disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So Voyager Linux is the country of origin is like France. So it is from France. And the desktop environment, you get the Xfce and GNOME desktop environment, so combined. I'm going to show you all those things as soon as the desktop layout. I'm going to show you all the features and also the audio features and also the Bluetooth networks and all those things. I'm going to show you everything as soon as the desktop layout is loaded. So it's a Ubuntu based Linux distribution. So it's going to take like maybe 2 or 3 minutes in the booting process. Sometimes it's going to take like 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes it will be very quick. It completely depends on the ISO file and also sometimes whether it's a stable ISO file or not. So in this case, it's a stable ISO file. So the stable version of the Voyager Linux 24.10 is right here. And I'm going to show you all the features and available things in that Linux. And also I'll be posting 2 videos daily without missing. So if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. And also there will be some time gap between both the videos because I need to post another video and I need to edit those things. So that's the reason there will be some gap. So instead of that, it's better to turn on the notification and subscribe so you can get the notification as soon as the video is posted. So as soon it's almost like 1.5 minutes right now, and you can see in the right bottom of the desktop, like it says like 20 years of Ubuntu. So it's been like 20 years after the Ubuntu. So you should be seeing like a Voyager, and upside you should be seeing like 20 years of Ubuntu. So if you want all those information, you can get from the official website itself. So I'm not going to go through all those things because I need to just focus on the main things. So here you should be seeing the two options like a live boot and the installation. So it's always a good option to go with the live boot first. So even if you have like any bugs, you can just remove the ISO file and wait for the another stable version. So it's better to always go with the live boot if you have any issues. But if you want to install, you can do that later. You should be getting an installer application on the desktop itself, so you don't need to worry about the installation. So right now I'm going to choose the language here. So there are plenty of languages available here. I'm going to choose the English and I'm going to try the Voyager Linux. So this is the latest version, and also about the 24.10 of Ubuntu and Ubuntu flavors. I already made videos of beta version, stable version and daily builds. I'm going to make all those videos and I already made. And also if you want to see other next releases of 25 something like that, if Ubuntu releases, I'm going to make that videos also. So I already made like 3000 videos, so you don't need to worry about anything. As soon as the Linux distros are available, I'm going to be posting those videos. So you just need to subscribe and you should be getting all those videos. And also in the community page of my YouTube channel, you should be getting all the packages information and all the latest Linux news. So if you want, you can check that out also. And here you can see, here is our desktop layout. So I didn't stop talking throughout the booting process, so you should be calculating easily. And also I can't even trim that, so that's the reason you should be seeing all the correct timings there. And here is our desktop layout, and we already have our CPU and RAM consumption and all those things here. So let me first change the display settings so we can go through all the other things. So let me go and change the display settings. So my monitor is like a 1920 into 1080. So let it load, and we're going to change the resolution. So these are all the available resolution, almost like I think it's like a 4.5K I guess. So the 4K is like a 3820 into 2160 I think. I think this is like a 4.5K something like that. So I'm going to choose my resolution here. Let me click apply, keep changes. So there are all the information in the release notes itself. So I'm going to show you all those things. So when you go to the about section, you should be seeing all the information about the Voyager Linux. So it says like a 24.10. So we are running it in the live bit. So that's the reason you should be seeing like a Voyager. Or else if you installed, you should be seeing your name here. And in the system details, you should be seeing all the information. So you get the GNOME 47, which is the latest version of the GNOME. And 60 GB, which I already mentioned, and the kernel version is completely changed when compared to the other Ubuntu and Ubuntu flavors. If you didn't watch that videos, you can watch it in my channel. So the kernels are changed here. So you should be getting Linux 6.11.0-8, which is the stable version right now. I'm going to show you also the kernel versions and kernel websites. So this is the information you get. And let me open the system monitor to see how much of resources it's going to consume. So on the pre-installed applications, you get this many of the applications. So there are a lot of bloatware applications. For some people it's like a bloatware, for some people it's like a important applications. So it's clearly up to you to decide. So let me find the system monitor. Here is our system monitor. Let's see how much of resource it's going to consume. There is already information right here. So let's open. So it's consuming like a 2.2 GB of RAM, cache is like a 6.6 GB. CPU, you need to run like a minute or 60 seconds in order to see whether the graph of a CPU is stable or not. So I'm going to let it run like a 60 seconds and let's check the process. So these are all the processes running right now. So I didn't open any of the applications other than the settings. So it doesn't consume that much of resources. So here is all the information. And about the system monitor, here is the system monitor. So before going to anything, I said I kept everything as a default. I didn't change any settings or any, not even the power options or anything. So it's just a new booting process or the first time booting process. So I didn't change anything here. So you should be seeing the graph of a CPU here and also the RAM. So I'm going to keep the system monitor in the right side corner throughout the video, so you can easily judge on your own whether to use this distribution or not, or the specific version of the Voyager Linux or not. So let me open the Firefox web browser. So the stable version of the Firefox should be 131 because that's the stable version, and also there is like a beta version available in the Firefox, like a 132 or something like that. So if you want the information, you can just go to the official website of a Firefox and you can check on the release notices and you should be seeing all the changes there. So I don't want to show you everything because it's going to make a video way lengthy. So if you want any information about the Firefox, you can just go to the official website itself. So some of Firefox security features may offer less protection on your current operating system. So here you can fix it. So if you're seeing some issues, you can just click on that and get all the information. So let's check the about Firefox. So you should be getting 131.0.2. So there is also like a 131.0.3, which is a point update. So if you want all this information, you can just go to the official website and get all the information. So now I'm going to open all the important tabs of like a website. So I'm going to continue from there. So here I opened every important tabs here. So as you can see, so right now it's consuming like a 3.1 GB, cache is like a 5.9 GB, CPU is pretty much unstable right now, but it's okay. So you can easily judge on your own. And let's go through all the important information. So let's go first with the browser and some distro information. So the version of the Firefox already mentioned, build ID and distribution ID is canonical, user agent. And the Linux kernel you get is 6.11.0. So the 6.11.0, so this is the official website of Linux kernel. Just type in like a Linux kernel in the search engine and the first link will be obviously the official website, or else you can just type in like a www.kernel.org. And here you should be seeing the stable version 6.11.3 and another version of stable version is 6.10.14, which is end of life. And here is like a long-term versions, mainline and stable. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, like a mainline, stable and long-term, you just need to click on the releases and here is all the description of whatever the kernel is. So if it's a stable version, here is all the information about the long-term, about the RC. RC means release candidate. Here is the mainline. And in order to see the kernel information, you just need to type in like a uname-r or else uname-a or else neofetch, fastfetch, inxi, inxi-sv8. Or even in the browser you can just type in like a about support. So the kernel you are getting is the stable version. So there is like a 3 points more available, which is like a 6.11.4 or 3. You should be seeing here 6.11.3 is the latest version, which is released on 2024 October 10th. And about the long-term versions, here is the long-term versions and the end of life will be already available right here. So we got the kernel information, so I'm just going to close that. And here is all the information, other things like a OS theme, Advaita, you should be seeing the Advaita on the both side. You don't see like a dark theme or a light theme here. And about the RAM, I'm using 8 GB of RAM. The available RAM is like a 7.7 GB. Disk space is 3.4 GB. So these are all some browser information which I don't consider as important for the video, but it should be important if you install the Linux distribution. Those are like a picture-in-picture versions and all those things. So if it's important for you, you can just pause the video and read everything. So here is like a Mesa and LLVM pipe information, and you should be seeing here itself also. So here is some information, and when you scroll it down, you should be seeing the window protocol as a VLAN, desktop environment, Ubuntu GNOME, and my monitor resolution and the Mesa information. Like a Mesa is 24.2.3.0. My monitor resolution is 1920 x 1080, which I already showed you in the beginning. So these are some additional information. If it's important for you, you can just pause the video and read everything. So we got all the information here. And here is the official website. So we need to translate this because it's from the French, so it should be having the French language. So it's from the France, which I already mentioned. About the system requirements, here is all the information, and also you should be getting the system requirements in the official website itself. So just click on the translate this page. So it's going to take a few seconds. So in my main operating system, it took like a few seconds, but it's going to take a bit time here. So here it says to translate, so I'm going to change the translation to the English so we can read everything properly. So here you should be seeing the version of 24.10. So here is all the information. So the release date is like October 15, 2024. And here is all the information, like what is a Voyager Linux. So here you should be getting all the information. Distribution kernel 6.11, GNOME 47 plus Xfce 4.19 based on Ubuntu 24.10, and Ubuntu 24.10 is just like a 9 months of support, so I don't really recommend that version. But if you want to go with the Ubuntu 24.04.1 LTS, which is a long-term version, which is Noble Numbet, it's better to go with the distributions which has like a 3-4 years of support. Ubuntu will be having support until like April 2029, I guess. I don't know about the month, but the year is 2029. And other Ubuntu flavors will be like 2027. So if you want all this information, you can just get into my videos of Ubuntu or Ubuntu flavors of 24.04.1 LTS. So the 0.1 is the latest LTS version, so that's the reason. So let's continue to the video. Here are all the information. Here is like a LTS version, and here is like a Debian versions. So we want this specific version. So here is some information. So if you want release notes, you can get all the release notes from here, or else you can just get it from the 24.10 GNOME. Here is all the information. Let it load. So I don't know why the website is taking a bit of time here. So here is all the information, and also you should be seeing the tutorials. And the main thing is a 2-in-1 version with the GNOME and Xfce desktop unified in a single distribution. So here is some information, and also 9 months for updates. Like the code name is Oracular Oriole for the 24.10, and here is the Linux kernel 6.11, and the apps, themes. There are a lot of themes available, and here you can see also the video if you want. And in order to download, you can download the ISO files from here. And here is like a list of applications, like a multimedia, office, everything. So I already showed you pre-installed applications. And about the recommended requirements, you need to have like a 2 GHz dual core processor or higher, 2 GB of system memory, which is a RAM, 20 GB of free hard disk, HDD. Internal access is helpful, and either a DVD drive or a USB port for installation media. And choose your architecture, 64-bit. Ideal for computers with more than 2 GB of RAM. So I'm having like a 8 GB of RAM, and 64-bit compatible Intel and AMD processor. My CPU is Intel i5-1240p. UEFI PCs boot in CSM mode. Intel based Apple Macs modem. And here is all the information. The main thing is 9 months of updates. So if you are a person who want to use for like a long term, it's better to go with the 24.04 version because it just has like a 9 months. So it's almost like a already like a 10-15 days already, so I don't really recommend this version, but it's clearly up to you. So if you want the LTS version, here is the LTS version, and here you should be getting all the information about that version. And when you scroll it down, you should be also seeing some installation, how to install the Voyager Linux. So it's clearly easy thing, so you don't need to worry about anything. Everything is given here. So the password or the login credentials is already available here, which is login is a Voyager and password is literally nothing. And here is all the information and all the applications. So this is all the information you get from the official website, like applications and all those things. We can do that everything on our own. So in order to download, you just need to click on the download Voyager 24.10, and it's going to take you to the source code website, and it's going to take like a 5 seconds and the download will be started. So you just need to wait. So if you have like a slow internet downloading, so you just need to click on the problems downloading, and you can choose the server. So always choose like a United States server, and it will be a bit faster. So if you had that issues, so I'm using a VPN and also I'm in the virtual machine, so it will be a bit slower for on the recording, but while I was downloading, it was way quicker. So this is how right now it's downloading. So I have like a 15 Mbps speed, but it's showing just like a 1.2 MB. So it will be a bit faster. So here is how to download. So we got all the information like a system requirements, release notes, and all those things. So I'm going to open the terminal and get all the information. So let's check all the pre-installed applications. So I already showed you everything in the beginning, like most of the useful for a day-to-day task, like a Thunderbird, which is mail client, and Rhythmbox for the media files, music, VLC media player, and also like a software and updates, a torrent client, and the Conky control. You can change the settings if you want. Here is the menu, Conky list. If you want to add anything, you can add it here. Conky management. If you want to remove anything, you can remove. Auto start. So I'm just going to keep everything as a default here. And these are all the applications you get, which I already showed you in the beginning. Here is the OS uninstaller. I don't know what it is. So here are the tweaks and all those things. So let me open the terminal. So later, if anything is, I'm going to see this application at the end. So let's open the terminal. So here is like a workspace. You can change the workspace, same like a GNOME thing. So you don't need to worry about anything here. Here is also the application menu or the app grid. So here is all the frequent apps, pinned apps, accessories, games. So there is like a Pac-Man games and Sudoku. So nowadays kids doesn't know the Pac-Man, most of the kids, and also the Mines. When we were kids, these are all the important games for us, like Super Mario, Mines, Pac-Man. These were also the good games when we were kids. But nowadays there is no such games like that. Like a Flappy Bird. There are a lot of games when we were kids. It was pretty much good. So these are all the applications you get in the same thing. So here is like an application menu, here is like an app grid. So same things, there is literally no changes here. So let me open the terminal. Here is our terminal. So let me type in some commands to get like audio, graphics, and all those information. So about the GNOME terminal, here is the version 3.54.0 for GNOME 47. Let me change the preference so we can see everything properly. I'm going to choose the light style and also colors to the light, so it's okay. And built-in schemes, I'm going to choose the GNOME one. So let me type in like a neofetch, hit enter, and here you should be seeing like a Voyager 24.10 host VMware, which I already mentioned. Uptime is almost 19 minutes. Kernel version, which I already showed you in the beginning. Packages 2884 dpkg. Shell bash version 5.2.32. Resolution, it says like a 1280 x 800, but I'm using a 1920 x 1080. And GNOME version is 47.0. Mother, Advaita, icons, Cora. My CPU is i5 1240p, which I already showed you. And 2165 MB of RAM. So here is the RAM. So let me type in cat /etc/issue. It says like a Ubuntu 24.10 because it's based on Ubuntu 24.10. -sv8. So this will grab complete distro information. Let's go through all those important things, and unnecessary things I'm just going to skip those things. Let's go with the system first. So host, it says as a Voyager because we are running it in the live boot. Kernel version 64-bit. Compiler GCC version is 14.2.0. So the desktop environment is a GNOME 47.0. GTK version is 3.24.43. And the GDM3 version 47.0. Distro, it says like a Ubuntu 24.10 Oracular Oriole. And this is like a VMware information, which is clearly unnecessary. 8 GB of RAM, available is 7.7, used is 2.42 GB. So this is like a RAM and everything. And here is my CPU, which I already mentioned like a 3-4 times already. So this is also unnecessary. Flags, vulnerabilities, which is clearly unnecessary. Now let's go with the graphics information. VMWGFX version is 2.20. And what else we have here? The display, Wayland. Server, Xorg version 24.1.2 with the Xwayland version 24.1.2. And what else we have? The monitor resolution, which is 1920 into 1080, which is the same resolution I'm using. So the screen one, it says like a 1920 into 1080. And the available monitor resolution right here from almost 4.5K to almost like a 640 into 480. EGL version is 1.5 and OpenGL version is 4.5. Compact V version is 4.3. And like a Mesa version, which I already mentioned in the beginning, which is 24.2.3 in the browser. And about the audio information, here is like a ELSA version. Pipewire version is 1.2.4. Pulse audio version is 16.1. So this is like a network Bluetooth. I didn't turn on the Bluetooth here in the virtual machine. So here is like a Bluetooth, partition, swap, unmounted, repos, which is clearly unnecessary for the video. So process running 329, uptime is almost 20 minutes. Here is the 20 minutes. And what else we have? Init systemd version is 256. And the compiler GCC version already mentioned, shell bash version already mentioned. And the INXI version is 3.3.35. So we covered every important information about the distro here. So let me close it. And about the desktop features, here you should be seeing like a power options, like a dark style and like a light theme, whatever you want, you can change it. And here is like a caffeine, which is same, which is available in the previous version also. Here is like a something, let me show you, control center. Here is like a NVIDIA settings, GNOME tweaks and all those things. Let me open the settings. Here is the settings centers, menu label, setting center, and here is the setting centers. If you want to toggle anything, you can toggle. If you want to delete anything, you can delete it. You can change the places. So let me go to the settings. Let me find the settings here. Utilities, system tools. Here is the settings. There is also like a tweaks. If you want, you can change it. So here is like a network. So here is some icon kind of thing. I can't click on it, so it's okay. So Bluetooth and the displays. You also get the fractional scaling. You can change the scaling. It's clearly up to you. Here is the sound. Here is the power. Multitasking. I kept everything as default. On the appearance, you should be getting like a dark and light theme. And under the wallpapers, you should be getting some wallpapers added right here. So I'm going to choose this wallpaper. Let's see how it looks. So here is our wallpaper. You can change according to your wish. So there are like a few wallpapers. You don't get a bunch of wallpapers, but you get a few wallpapers. You can change or you can add according to your wish. And you can change the accent color also. So these are all the same things. So I'm just going to click on next here. Ubuntu desktop. I kept everything as default. You can change to panel mode or else you can untoggle it. It's clearly up to you. apps, everything is same. Notifications, you can change your notification settings. Search, online accounts. So this is the settings icon. So I thought some user account, something like that, because I'm sitting far away from the monitor, so that's the reason. And here is like a mouse and touchpad. I'm going to always keep the natural thing here. If you want to test settings, you can click here. About the keyboard, here is all the keyboards. If you want to customize, you can customize here. About the color, you can change it. About the printers and accessibilities, customize according to your wish. Privacy and security, always turn off the location and camera options, and also the microphone. Only turn on when you are using. After that, just turn it off, because it's always a good option to do that things. And here is some desktop features, like a Thunderbird mail client, the language selection, the date and time, and the same power options. So here it kind of changed to the transparent, so that's the good thing here. And now let's do a stress test by opening a bunch of applications. Let's see how it's going to handle. So right now everything is opening instantly and I don't see any lag or anything like that. And about the system resources, it's consuming like a 2.9 GB. Now let's open a bunch of applications to see how much of resources it's going to consume. So let me open some settings here. Let's scroll it down. Under utilities, we don't have anything here. Let me open the tweaks. And let's open some other applications like system tools. We have an installer. I didn't show you the installer. I'm going to open and show you that also. Authenticate. So there is literally no password for it. And accessories, extension manager, extensions, which will be same, but I'm going to show you. And under the accessories, games, I don't want to open any of the games here. There is a GIMP. So there is like a day-to-day applications for a normal user, like a GIMP, photo editor, image viewer, like a LibreOffice, and also those things, browser, email client. So it's filled with a bunch of applications for a normal user for a day-to-day task. So that's a good work. You don't need to install anything here. You get all the applications already available right in front of you. But there are also some bloatware applications. If it's important for you, you don't need to call it like a bloatware. But if it's unnecessary, then you can call it like a bloatware. So there is also VLC media player. So there are like document files and also multimedia applications, photo editing applications. So there is no video editor or anything like that, but you can install it like a Kdenlive or whatever the open source video editors for content creations if you want. And about the installer, you get the same old installer. You don't get any new installers. So I think we are good with the applications. So I thought let me open the OS uninstaller. I want to see what it is. So these are all the applications opened in the background. So scanning systems, this may take several minutes. So about the applications, let's open the workspace and let's try to open the system monitor to see how much of resource it's going to consume. So it's consuming like a 4.4 GB because we opened a bunch of applications, not just like a 4 or 5 applications. I opened like almost like a 10-12 applications. So that's the reason it's consuming a lot of resources. And usually the GNOME desktop will be consuming a bit more. GNOME and the KD Plasma will be consuming a bit more resources when compared to the Xfce. And right now this is how it's consuming. Let me close the notification. And about the process, these are all the process. And it will be completely different when you compare it on the bare metal. So this is the virtual machine resources. So it's consuming like this. And when you use it on the bare metal, it's going to be performing way better, and also the resources will be lesser. So don't judge just watching the virtual machines. It will be a bit different on the bare metal. So you need to understand these common things. So right now it's consuming like a 4.4 GB. When you run it same applications in the bare metal, the RAM will be consuming like a 4 GB or like a 3.9 GB, and CPU will be also a bit lesser. So there will be some like a 400-500 of MB of difference, and also some hardware resources will be lesser in CPU, and also the user experience will be a bit better in the bare metal. So this is how it's performing in the virtual machine. So let's try to switch the applications. Let's see whether we see any lag or anything. So till now I didn't see any bugs or any crashes or anything. Everything is working fine. And also you need to understand that I have like a good hardware resources. Like I have like a i5 1240p and also 8 GB of RAM. So I have more than a recommended requirement. So that's the reason it's going to be performing better. So when you have like a low end PC, I don't know how it performs, but if you have like a recommended requirements and you are trying it on the bare metal, it's going to be performing better. So before installing this Linux distribution, do your own research, and if you're satisfied, then go with the installation. And also it's just supported for 9 months, so you keep that in mind. And also if you want to try with the LTS, you can go with the 24.04 version. And there are also videos of every version in my channel already, so if you want to check that out, you can check it out in my channel, or you can watch any others videos or in the YouTube channels. There are a lot of people who make also videos, so you can watch those videos. Go with whatever if it's satisfied your needs, you can go with the installation, or else you can just skip that version. Now let's check all the applications information and end the video. About the LibreOffice, you get the 24.8.2.1, same as the Ubuntu and Ubuntu flavors, I think. And about the Thunderbird, you get the Nebula, I guess. So you get the Supernova, which is 115. I thought there will be like a Nebula, but you get the same Supernova. About the GIMP, let's check the version. You get the 2.10.38. And about the Firefox, we already saw the version of the Firefox. And here is the tweaks. So I kept everything as default as mentioned in the beginning. So I didn't change any of the tweaks or anything like that. So if you want to customize, you can customize according to your wish. Sound, micro, mouse and touchpad, keyboard, the windows. So these are all the options. Startup applications. If you want to remove anything, you can remove it. So those are all the some customization things. So that's the reason I didn't show you anything there. About the file manager, here are the properties. You can customize according to your wish. About the files, you get the 47.0 because we are having the GNOME 47 desktop environment. And what else we have? VLC media player. Let's check the version of the VLC. So you get the 3.0.21. And what else we have still? The OS uninstaller. It is strongly recommended to always use the latest version of this software. Do you want to use the software so automatically update? So I don't want to do anything here. So I want to show what application it is. I really I didn't use any of this type of application, so that's the reason I opened that application. So let's ignore that and let's continue with the video. Here are all the extensions. So again, same thing, if you want to customize anything, you can customize those things. It's clearly up to you. And again, the installer, same thing, there is literally no change. So after using the Liveboot, you can directly install right from here. So choose your language for the keyboard layout. I kept everything as default, which is English. And if you want to customize with the updates and other software, you can customize according to your wish. If you want minimal, you can go with the minimal or else normal. And other options, I'm going to tick those options because it's a bit important for me. When you click on continue, you should be taking like a 30 to 40 seconds because it's going to prepare the Ubuntu drivers. So that's the reason you get the same older installer. It's going to take a bit time. And in the new installer, it's pretty much flawlessly working with blazing speeds in my point of view. So everything was working fastly in the newer installer. But you don't get new installer in the Voyager Linux, you just get the older installer. And about the software center or the application store or the app store, whatever you want to call it, here are all the applications. And about the updates, you don't get any updates because the ISO file is just released a few hours ago. So here is the version. And if you want to customize, you can customize here by going to software repositories, preference and anything here. So I kept everything as a default. And if you want to search, you can search by going to the Explore and you can click here and search the application. Let me close it. And here it's still taking a time. and I pretty much showed everything. So if I forgot anything, do let me know in the comment section. And also it's just 9 months of support, so I'm not going to go through deeply. I'm just going to show you some basic things. Even if it's a basic things, I pretty much showed everything important, so I don't think I missed anything here. So it's going to still take some time because the older installer. And about the process, these are all the processes running right now. And about the resources, 2.9 GB, the file system. So you get the same older installer. So I'm not going to wait for it. It's going to make a video lengthy. So I'm just going to close those things. And at the end of the video, this is how it performed. I didn't face any bugs or any crashes. So some older versions of Voyager Linux had some issues in my PC, but I didn't have any issues in this video. So there was no major issues, some minor issues, but other things will be pretty much good. In this version, I didn't see any problems or anything like that. Everything is working properly. And also this is how it's performing. So in the bare metal, it will be a bit different also. So CPU was pretty much unstable throughout the video, and it should be good in the bare metal. I didn't see any lag or anything, so it's good for me. So this is how the Voyager Linux is there in my virtual machine. So there is no live boot password or anything like that. So I'm going to end the video. So if I had another video, I'm going to post it, because right now there is no topic or anything like that. So that's the reason. If I find any topic, I'm going to post another video. But if I don't find any another content, then I'm going to just post this video, and today will be a single video. So if you want 2 videos daily, you can subscribe. If I had any topic, then I'm going to post 2 videos. But nowadays, like almost like a 10-15 days, there is no topic in the Linux distro. So that's the reason I didn't make 2 videos. There is like a few, almost like from 1 week, there is no videos because of no content. So if you have any content, do let me know in the comment section, and try to search it in my channel because I already made like a lot of videos, almost like a 3,000-4,000 videos of every Linux distribution. So that's the reason. So if I already made a video, don't recommend that thing in the comment section. But if I didn't make a video on that specific distro which you are trying to recommend, I can make that video. So that's the video of Voyager Linux 24.10. And remember, it's a 9-month support, so it's clearly up to you. And the logout screen will be pretty much same. You don't have any passwords or anything. You just need to click on the live session user and it should be good. And these are all the keys or information. And here is the power options. So thanks for watching. Peace out.